Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 9, and today we will discuss to you the muscular and nervous systems together with my co-member, Miss Kimberly Calumbres and Esperjan Abelion.
Good afternoon, class. I am Teacher Esper and I am your science teacher on this afternoon. So our topic is all about nervous system. The nervous system is made of brain, spinal cord, and the nerve cells. So the brain is a mass of nerve cells located in the head. Extending from the brain is the spinal cord. Nerves extend from the brain and the spinal cord to the different parts of the body. The brain is protected by the skull and layer of tissues called meninges. The brain and the spinal cord are also surrounded by the cerebrospinal fluid that functions the brain and the spinal cord against from jumping, walking, running, and other movements. There are three major parts of the brain: the cerebrum, and the brainstem. So now, I will going to discuss first the cerebrum. So, the cerebrum is the largest structure in the brain. It is responsible for controlling speech, memory, emotion, intelligence, and sensation. It is divided into the left and right hemisphere. The right hemisphere controls the left side of the body, while the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body. These hemispheres are further divided into four lobes. So each lobe has specific activity that they control. The four lobes are: first, we have the temporal lobe. It is responsible for hearing and smell. The second is the parietal lobe. It is also responsible for touch and taste. The third one is the occipital lobe. It is responsible for sight. And the lastly is the frontal lobe. It is responsible for movements and speech. So now, let's proceed to the cerebellum. Cerebellum is the largest part of the brain. It is specifically responsible for balance, posture, movements, and coordination. It regulates muscles as they contract and relax. If the cerebellum is damaged, the person might be paralyzed. And the last one is the brainstem. The brainstem is found at the base of the brain and connects to the brain to the spinal cord. It controls the basic life functions such as heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. It is concerned with reflex actions, which are involuntary actions that protect the body. So now, let's proceed to the spinal cord. The bony structures you feel at the back of your neck is the backbone or the vertebral column. It protects the spinal cord from injury. The spinal cord is very important as it is the extension of the brain. The main functions of the spinal cord is to serve as a pathway of messages to and from the brain. The spinal cord also serves as reflex center. Sometimes, before message could reach the brain, the spinal cord has already provided an appropriate response to it. This is called reflex actions. It is an automatic response to something that happens. An example is when you accidentally touch an hot object, your hand or your hands jerks away immediately even without you consciously thinking about it. So, The spinal cord enables the body to react immediately and protect itself from the further harm. So now, let's talk about the nerve cells. The nerve cells, or neuron, are the basic units of the nervous system. The main function is to carry and collect messages or nerve cells, or the nerve impulses. These impulses are relayed to the brain and sent back to the parts involved for proper actions or reactions. There are three types of nerves: sensory, motor, and connector nerves. The brain and the spinal cord receive nerve impulse from the different parts of the body through the sensory nerves. So the brain and the spinal cord send instructions of appropriate actions to involve body part through the motor nerves. So the connector nerves connect the sensory nerves and the motor nerves and carry impulse between them.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Kimberly Columbres and I will going to discuss about muscular system. So what is muscular system? Muscular system, it talks about the muscles. The muscular system is an organ system consisting of smooth, skeletal, and cardiac muscles. And it permits movement of the body, maintain posture, and helps to circulate blood throughout the body. So, skeletal system is the framework of our body, but without the muscular system, it cannot give a shape to the body or it cannot move. So, in other words, muscular system helps the body to move. So, with the help of the muscles, it enables us to stand, walk, run, jump, or even dance. So there are about 640 muscles in the body which are responsible for the different types of movement. So I will give an example of this. So first we have the occipitofrontalis. The function is to move the eyebrows and scalp up and back and wrinkle the forehead, which are facial movements often used to make facial expression when you are shocked or surprised. Second, we have the orbicularis oculi. So it closes the eyelids and assists in pumping the tears from the eye into the nasolacrimal duct system. Next, we have the orbicularis oris. So the muscle surrounds the mouth. The function of this muscle is to cause the lips to stick out from the face, such as puckering of the lips. So next we have the zygomaticus major. It is a muscle that controls facial expression, drawing the mouth angles upward and outward, and the zygomaticus major muscle starts at the cheekbone and extends to the corner of the mouth. This muscle causes the corners of a person's mouth to rise when they smile. Next, we have the sternocleidomastoid. Muscle is a powerful neck muscle that allows you to bend your neck and turn or tilt your head like this. Bend your neck and tilt your head. So next, we have the trapezius. The trapezius, it starts at the back of your head and neck, extend across your shoulder, and down the middle of your back, forming a trapezoid, also known as traps. The trapezius muscles play an important role in posture. So first, they move the shoulder, left arm out to the side and protect the neck and spine. Next, we have the deltoid. All heads of the deltoid work together to produce abduction of the shoulder joint. It helps lift the arm, front, side, and backward. Next, we have the pectoralis major. This chest muscle as a whole is the adduction and internal rotation of the arm and the shoulder joint. Next, we have the latissimus dorsi. It pulls the arm towards the pelvis, responsible for extension, adduction, rotation of the shoulder joints, also used for extension and lateral flexion of the lumbar spine. So next, we have the bicep brachii. The bicep brachii, it is a flexus forearm at the elbow joint, forearm of the radial joint, and arm at the shoulder joint. So next, we have the brachialis. It is an important flexor muscle of the forearm at the elbow. The brachialis provides flexion of the elbow at all physiologic position, and it is considered a pure flexor of the forearm at the elbow. Next, we have the pronator teres. Pronator teres, it pronates the forearm and assists in flexion of the elbow joint. Next, we have the brachioradialis. It is a powerful forearm flexor when the forearm is semi-pronated, meaning that the palm is perpendicular to the ground. Next, we have the extensor carpi radialis, longus, and brevis. It provides wrist extension and abduction or radial deviation. In addition, extensor carpi radialis longus may help to flex the elbow joint and is active during the first clenching. Next, we have the serratus anterior. It is a muscle worked together to lift the ribs, assisting with respiration. The serratus anterior is also known as the boxer's muscle, is largely responsible for the protraction of the scapula, a movement that occurs when throwing a punch. So next, we have the rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis, it is to move the body between the rib cage and the pelvis. Next, we have the external oblique. It is a muscle or part of the abdominal muscle responsible for movement of the trunk, spine, and core. They assist in constructing the abdomen, twisting to the right and left, and bending side to side. Next, we have the anterior superior iliac spine. It serves as an attachment point of the significant structures such as the inguinal ligament and sartorius muscle. Next, we have the iliopsoas. It is the primary hip flexor and assists in external rotation of the hip joint, playing an important role in maintaining the strength and integrity of the hip joint. It is essential for correct standing or sitting lumbar posture and plays a critical role during walking and running. Next, we have the pectinus. The pectinus, it is an aid in flexion and adduction of the thigh at the hip joint. Flexion, also known as bending a joint, brings the thigh forward and upward to flex at the hip joint, whereas adduction moves the limb towards the middle of the body. So next, we have the adductor longus. It is to adduct the thigh at the hip joint. The adductor longus muscle also plays a role in external lateral rotation and flexion of the thigh. Next, we have the sartorius. It is an important flexor and rotator of the thigh at the hip joint. So next, we have the gracilis. Gracilis act on the hip and knee joint, resulting in several movements such as strong leg flexion and medial rotation around the knee and when the knee is in semi-flexed position. Next, we have the rectus femoris. The rectus femoris function is knee extension. It also assists with hip flexion. The rectus femoris can perform these two functions simultaneously, such as innervation and femoral nerve. So next, we have the vastus medialis. It is to work with the other quad muscles to help extend your knee joint. It is also active in maintaining thigh and kneecaps position while walking and running. Next, we have the vastus lateralis. It is to extend the lower leg and allow the body to rise from a squatting position. So next, we have the tensor fasciae latae. It is to produce the extension and lateral rotation of the leg on the knee joint. Additionally, it contributes to the movement of the thigh, acting as a relative weak abductor and medial rotator on the hip joint. Next, we have the patella. It is to working with your quadriceps muscles to extend and straighten your leg, protecting your knee joint. So next, we have the gastrocnemius. It is a powerful plantar flexor of the foot at the talocrural joint. It is also flexes the leg at the knee. The action of the gastrocnemius are usually considered along with the soleus as a triceps surae group. Next, we have the tibialis anterior, the main function of the dorsiflexion of the foot and inversion of the foot. Next, we have the tibia or shin, supporting the weight of your body when you stand and move, stabilizing you as you move, and connecting muscles, tendons, and ligaments in your knees and ankles to the rest of your body. Next, we have the extensor digitorum longus. It is to extend the lateral foretoes at the metatarsophalangeal joints. Next, we have the soleus. The soleus is to act as skeletal muscle. Along with the other calf muscle, it is so powerful plantar flexion and has a major contribution in running, walking, and even in dancing. It is also a major postural muscle designed to stop the body from falling forward at the ankle during stunts. So those are some examples of the body muscles and its function.
Skeletal muscles comprising 40% of the human body weight and containing 50 to 75% of all proteins, contracts in response to stimuli and serves various functions like movements, posture, and joint stabilization derived from the paraxial mesoderm. Skeletal muscle functions to contract, produce movement, maintain posture, and stabilize joints, converting chemical energy into mechanical energy, contributing to basal energy, metabolism, and producing body heat. Voluntary muscles comprising 40% of body weight and containing 50 to 75% of total proteins are skeletal muscles that control movement of limbs, head, neck, and body under conscious control, converting chemical energy into mechanical energy. The trapezius is a broad, flat muscle on the posterior neck and trunk with more extensive origin than any other body muscle. It contributes the scapulo-humerical rhythm and head balance. The deltoid muscle, a triangular-shaped muscle in the human shoulder girdle, is a part of the shoulder girdle musculature and consists of anterior, lateral, and posterior fibers. Originating on the scapula and clavicle spine, it helps abduct the arm, stabilizes it, prevents joint displacement, and provides compensatory force. The infraspinatus is a triangular muscle in the rotator cuff, responsible for shoulder joint motion and stability. It occupies the infraspinous fossa of the scapula and aids in external rotation, scaption, and lateral rotation of the humerus. It stabilizes the glenohumerical joint, applying compression to the humerus head during shoulder abduction. The teres major is a rectangular muscle that extends from the scapula to the humerus, working synergistically with the latissimus dorsi. Injuries to these muscles are rare but can occur due to the stretch or impact. The teres major extends, rotates, and adducts the humerus, stabilizing the humerical head. It works with the latissimus dorsi, pectoralis major, and rotator cuff. Rotator cuff muscles to prevent subluxation of the humerical head, a process that is synergistically activated. The latissimus dorsi is a broad, flat muscle in the lower posterior thorax, primarily used for upper extremity movement and respiration. It attaches to various vertebral spinous processes, lumbar and sacral spinous processes, and the supraspinous ligament. It acts with the teres major and pectoralis major muscles to adduct and rotate the humerus. Cardiac muscle, also known as the myocardium, is responsible for the heart's contractility and pumping action supplying the body's metabolic demands. Smooth muscle is essential for various body functions including digestion, nutrient collection, urinary system, toxins removal, and blood pressure regulation in arteries and veins. It can be contracted and controlled involuntarily by the nervous system using hormones and neurotransmitters. Smooth muscles is crucial in various diseases like asthma, gastric emptying, and ischemic heart disease, and it used in treatments like bronchodilators, metoclopramide, and nitrates, originating from mesoderm and neural crest cell. Involuntary muscles, also known as smooth muscles, are found in the various body parts responsible for movement, posture, joint strength, and temperature regulation. Involuntary organ muscles alter shape and inner diameter, affecting passageways and contents. Autonomic nervous system controls contraction heart, not contracting blood vessel tone, and vital organ movements. Peristalsis is the contraction and relaxation of muscles in the digestive tract, allowing for the propulsion of contents from the pharynx to the anus. Primary peristalsis occurs when swallowed, while secondary peristalsis is triggered by esophageal distension. Peristalsis is the small intestine mixes contents with secretion, exposes them to the mucosal surface, and propels them into the large intestine for optimal digestion.